So if you're watching this video, then I'm sure it's just like everybody else, you're tired of all the taxes that we have to pay, right? Not to say that we don't, we don't want to pay taxes. We understand that in order to get the things that we need, roads, bridges, funding police officers, firefighters, we understand taxes need to be paid. However, when you feel like your money's being spent recklessly and irresponsibly, and a lot of people are struggling when it comes to their finances, when money's being taken away from them and we don't feel like it's being used properly, then people are going to be pissed off. Okay, and so in this video, I got a couple videos for you where people are gonna express their frustration when it comes to all the taxes we pay. So I'm just gonna let them talk, and then I'll share my thoughts afterwards.
I am sick and tired of being taxed to death. Tell me why I have to pay sales tax on used children's clothing at a consignment shop where the sales tax has already been paid when it was bought new the first time. We pay sales tax on everything we buy, but explain to me why we have to pay sales tax on a used vehicle that's already had sales tax paid once, if not more than once. Explain to me why we have to pay property taxes on a home or land that we outright own. Because what is the point of making the mortgage payment so the bank can't take your house if when you're done making all those payments, the government says, oh, you haven't paid your property taxes, it's ours now. So you never even outright own it, so what the heck is the point of paying a mortgage? There's literally nothing we can own in this world without being taxed or being taken away. And I think that's something that both parties on both sides of the aisle can agree with, that there's too many taxes. We're taxed on the food we buy. We're taxed on the water for our home, the electricity for our home, the sewage for our home, the trash for our home, literally just to live. Taxed on tips and overtime. I mean, hell, we're taxed if we die. Our family can't even get everything because there's an inheritance tax and an estate tax and a death tax. We are literally being taxed to death. Don't even get me started on the fact that income tax was never even supposed to be a permanent thing. That was something that Abraham Lincoln enacted to fund the war. But it does make you question as to why we're always in a war. The problem is there's so many of us that will not say anything because that's just how it is. That's how it's been, and that's how it will always be unless people start speaking up. Unless senators and representatives and presidents and anybody in the political spectrum start doing things they say they're going to do. Keep that in mind whenever you're voting for whoever you're voting for in November, because we are literally being taxed to death.
Look at, man, and she's right about that. Federal taxes, like that wasn't even a thing, right? Back then, they used to ask us, like, all right, if we're going to go to war, then they would obviously ask the citizens, all right, we need the tax in order to pay for the war. And then you would have to ask the citizens that, and then, of course, we do what we do. However, now they just made that a regular thing, right? They were able to get that in there where we can just take the money and without asking citizens. And let's be honest. The reason why they're doing it, there's a variety of different reasons, right? Government has no money. They make no money, right? They make all the money from taxing us, right? The citizens. And for a lot of people, that's frustration, because when you're seeing the money being wasted and spent on things that aren't stuff that the citizens want, it's frustrating, because a lot of people are struggling financially. A lot of people are struggling with the economically, and you see how the government just recklessly spend the money. It's going to cause frustration for a lot of its people, right? And it's crazy how we can let it get to this point. And I know, and you hear a lot of, and one thing that gets on my nerves is, like, you hear a lot of these politicians, right? They be like, oh, we need to tax the rich. They don't pay any taxes. First of all, rich people pay a lot of taxes. And two, we don't have a tax problem. We have a spending problem. Okay, and this is the manipulation tactic that they use, right? They get people so emotional when it comes to tax. We gotta have the rich pay the taxes, and when they get you all emotional when it comes to that, then they tax you. Right? Then they tax you. They tax the citizens, the people that have the W-2s, the people that are working, right? They take the taxes right out of your paycheck because it's easier to go after you, right? Even if you wanted them to tax, even if you think that the rich people aren't getting taxed enough, right? They got the best accountants, they got the best lawyers where they can avoid paying taxes legally based on laws that these same politicians created. Okay, so they do that on purpose, right? They get you emotional. They say, oh, we got to raise the taxes. And then they tax you. And then you get pissed off about paying the taxes. And then they come back around and say, oh, it's not fair. Amazon didn't pay any taxes. This company didn't pay any taxes. And they get you all emotional again. And then again, they tax you. And it's just a cycle. They just keep playing with you, man. Instead of trying to get everybody to pay tax, how about we just get rid of, all these taxes, reduce the taxes that we have to pay regardless, like pay less taxes. Okay, that's what we should be doing. That's what we should be fighting for. because all this tax, especially when the way they spend our money, is reckless and it's irresponsible. And that's the thing that pisses people off. All these tax, we get taxed on every single thing that we do. We get double taxed, and then not to mention we got the hidden tax, which is called inflation, right? Because remember, like I said, they were supposed to back then they used to have to ask its citizens the taxes, right? Of course, to fund the wars. Now they have this hidden tax called inflation. Well, they just print money, okay, making things more expensive, and that's the hidden tax people don't see. All right, and it's frustrating for a lot of people because obviously a lot of people are struggling, and when it comes to and what makes no sense is like, if you tax people less, all right, especially when it comes to income taxes, right? Let people have more of their money. What will then happen is, what do people tend to do? They tend to spend money in the economy, which is then gets taxed, right? That's going to create tax right there. Instead of taxing people, causing people to have less money, then, you know, it's going to cause people to spend less, right? But if you give people more money, they're going to spend more money, which is going to then create taxes for the economy. So, I mean, that's just a thought. So I got one more video. Let's hear what he has to say.
All right, I think I'm going to start calling these ones another episode of Are We Okay Here? Like, seriously. So I'm standing in line at the grocery store. Go figure, right? Yeah, I don't want to tell you the prices. I'm not going to fucking get into that. But long story short, I'm in line, and I hear the cashier say that, oh, like, you know, like, if you want this bag, like, it's 35 cents. Well, really 40 cents because there's tax. And like, shook our head and we're like, there's tax on the fucking grocery bag too? So like, we kind of just had a chuckle. We're like, okay, there's like, you get a grocery bag and there's even tax on a grocery bag. Can I get a bag, please? Yeah, 35 cents plus tax on that too. So about all the fucking things that we get taxed on around here, okay? Because we get taxed on everything here. There's even tax on a grocery bag. It's like, I looked at this older lady and I was like,
and that's crazy, right? Like, you go to the grocery store, they have all these taxes, obviously plastic bags, and they want to do it because obviously they say environmental friendly and stuff like that. So of course people are gonna get bored with that. But man, look, they just want more money. Like I said, they want more money, and it's crazy because even if you buy like a beverage, like one of these like drinks or like juices or stuff like that, they give you like a 10 cents tax on that bottle. And my guess, the rational thing would be like, all right, they tax you the 10 cents before, so it can incentivize you to then say, you know, go back into the store and recycle that bottle so you can get your 10 cents back, right? But I don't do that, all right? What I do when I'm finished with the bottle, I put it in the recycle bin, it gets recycled. It's not like I get a refund, right? But it's just another way to tax you, man. Any way they can find a way to take money from your pocket, that's what they're gonna do. Why? Because our government is trash when it comes to managing money. You see the national debt, the debt continues to rise. They always need money to do something, fund a war, do something reckless with the money, right? And this is what they continue to do. Any way they can tax the people and get away with it, they're going to do it, okay? And I think that's the frustrating part when it comes to, for a lot of people, right? Especially if you're someone that's struggling financially, right? You're gonna try to keep as much money as you can, whether it's a nickel, a dime, whatever it is. You're going to try to keep that money. When you see all these taxes, they add up, and it pisses people off, especially when you're struggling financially. So those are my thoughts. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave a comment down below, hit the like button, share, and if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. Right, so guys, take care and have a good one. Later.